Welcome to our meeting. I didn't do the preparation for the doc. We do have some agenda items. Let's see. Okay. Wait, we did under all of these here. Today is the 18th. Okay. So there's an agenda item. Beyhan, you want to start with this one?
Yes, there is an issue regarding the proxy support in Bosch. It will be closed soon. Two different people reported that one. I wanted just to discuss how should we proceed with such kind of issues. Should we put a statement like we don't plan to support this one, or just leave it to the bot to close the issue?
Or say something about like we don't have bandwidth to implement a fix, but we're happy to review a pull request.
For example, yeah. So we can add this support, but if you
yeah, I don't know what that would look like though, because and look briefly at the implementation. It picks up the global property, right? So what they basically want is to unset it for that specific thing.
Yeah.
But they only want to set it for specific jobs. Oh, what they could do, actually, they could use job-specific properties, right? The problem is that Bosch uses global properties. Is there something with proxy, an ops file? Yeah. So I think they are using this file, right? This and this sets it globally. So if they would set it instead for the jobs they want to use a proxy for, then they don't have this issue.
Somehow there was an issue in the Bosch deployment changing this, and at that point people looked into that and it seems not so straightforward.
I mean, the workaround they say here is that they do something to unset it for the help monitor.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
The problem is that the help monitor picks it up because it's if you look here in the jobs, Bosch, the help monitor spec. Here, it's just all the jobs use the same properties. They are not scoped. And because they are set using this globally, right, not scoped under a job, they are picked up. But if you would set them under a job, so under job name, only for the director. So if you only want to use it for the director, right, you would only set it for the director and not have it configured for the help monitor, and you wouldn't have this problem. Yep. But I can respond to that. I thought about the solution. Yeah, I will. Yep. I can respond. I thought about the solution, but then I thought, oh wait, you cannot unset it. But actually, if you just set it only for the things you want to actually use a proxy for, then it would work. We'll do that.
But I wanted to, in general, to discuss issues
yes.
or PRs. I would like to that we close that issues of PRs by having decision whether we would like to get contribution for that, or we don't think that is something good to do with Bosh. Or just letting the bot closing them is not so polite for the people who actually wanted something. I don't know whether you can get my point, to be more friendly.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And I think that's the same discussion that's going on here. There's this.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
that's Stalebot, right?
Correct. Yeah.
This was the proposal to have a Stalebot, and I think that there was, yeah, this is actually your your point here. So yeah.
Okay.
I agree. It's more of the. So I'm currently focusing on getting a proper workflow for the pull requests. That's like the #1 priority, and I'm getting there, I guess. So this is a bit of a side step, but this is what I've been working on. So I've been looking into the project beta stuff in GitHub. So there's project, GitHub project, and GitHub project next, or beta. So here I have all the issues of our working group in one project, but then you can have different views for different things. So I was thinking we could have like a similarly have a view for issues. So we would have like some sort of inbox and track it through different states. Like we have with pull requests. I think that would be ideal. Currently, I don't have issues in here yet, and I'm still figuring out technically how we're gonna. I mean, creating the issues is not a problem, but you only have like one status field, and I think we want different statuses for. We have different states or something for an issue.
I see. Yeah.
So that's what I want to. That's actually what we could have a discussion about. Like, so these are the states that we have identified for, or that we are currently using for pull requests. So. Didn't copy paste that. Oh, wait, where is it? Too many things.
But basically, we agree that we should.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, and then issue. So, what are the states for issues? So we have inbox.
Yes.
And then how do we want to? Do we want to assign an issue to someone? I mean, that's also the question, right? Because so we have agreed, I think, as a working group that the people in the working group are do commit their time to review pull requests, but triaging issues, I don't know. Like, is that something we want to divide between the people that are like? Is that something people have signed up for? Is that is that the expectation that we also do that? That was not like really clear to me, because like an issue, like a pull request, there's definitely like someone has put time into that. There's code coming out and there's a result. An issue can also be like more of a help thing, right? So you're basically helping the community, which is nice, but it's also a big investment in time. And there's like, for the company that is paying the person doing that work, there's maybe not, it's less clear what the result is or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe for issues where we don't get PRs directly to fix them, we can use this meeting to take the decision whether it is something we want to invest and plan for our backlog and just say we are open for contribution, if you like. And keep the issue open for some time and wait for contribution. If there is nothing coming, then we can pause. Or we can reject because the issue is actually not an issue. I think the issues which are not an issue is we can handle them directly if you see something.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's still a lot of back and forth, right? There's still like a lot of discussion sometimes, right? Because it's not clear what the issue is or there's missing information, right? So it's basically debugging. Yeah. While with a pull request, people have done the debugging and it's like code, right? You can easily, it's less vague or more concrete or something. Issues can be really broad. So I find it really a bit difficult to say, like, should we spend, how much time should we spend on these things?
I see, yeah.
So one idea I had initially was to just make sure that we forward all the issues into the proper Slack channels, right? Because there's a bigger audience in there, and then people can respond if they want to. But then, if we go the route of like having it on a Kanban style board, like in a project, right? Then it feels more like we have to do something with all these things. And that's nice for the community, but there's also quite a big cost there.
Yeah, people having ideas in the community have to meet people ready to invest some time on on making those become real. And yeah, there's a budget behind that kind of time. The rule is something like, if you don't have budget for realizing things, then it's harder to push. Well, you have to meet someone that offers that time. And yeah, that's the market of how the ideas can make some move forward. But we're in a small community, so we don't have that many people offering their time.
Yes. So that's a bit of the thing I'm scared for. Like, this could be like, we have lots of repos, but I'm also not sure how many issues we're talking about. Like, but that's why I like the bot, right? Because the bot, at least, I want some sort of exits. Like, in each stage, we need a natural bot that just ends the thing without a person paying attention, because I mean, that's just a cost thing, I guess. It's like, otherwise we have a lot of overhead of having to, but I agree that it's good to have at least initially a person look at it, right? Give an initial response, because that's welcoming, right? For the from a community point of view. So we can try to at least give one response on each issue. I think that's a good goal to start with, and then we can move things in like open for contribution. So inbox, then we do like an initial response, and then who's gonna do the initial response? That's the question. Is that something we share? So we assign it to a person in the working group, and that person is then responsible for doing a response, or it's got to be me, or like, do we share it between the tech leads? I mean, that's also an option that Beyhan and I just try to creep up with those. I mean, Benjamin, you as a reviewer, would you like to also play a part in
well, actually, I'm looking at those, and I can testify for that one specifically. I've seen it, and I haven't understood at first glance what was important about it. I saw someone jumping in and answering, so I said, right, let's move on to and focus to something else. Someone is already taking care of that. I mean, everyone cannot count on me alone, and I need to count on other people investing their time either. So yeah, that's how we share the load.
Mm-hmm. So what we can also do is like we just make a column or a list, and what we do is something like
I also mean we sorry, yeah, I also mean we don't commit into implementing every idea that comes around. When people have their idea, they must also do advocacy about those. If someone comes to me and explains the importance of the idea, and I jump into it and say, yeah, it's a great thing. Maybe I gave some time because I'm convinced it's a good thing for Bosch. And that's also maybe how people have maybe to push ideas forward. They must invest more into advocating for those with people that can realize them and submit PRs.
That makes sense. So what I was thinking is like we could have like a list of the issues, and we have something with like a column with last activity, or and something like maybe a number of comments. So it's like we see, like people can just like go to one place and have a list of all the issues in our working group, and then just go over them and comment on them, and then we can during this meeting just see, go briefly over that list and see, these things have been open for a while and nobody has responded to them, right? And we can do it that way. Because we have this meeting every week, so we could make that like a thing we just do in this meeting. So we let it happen naturally. People comment on things naturally, and we just make sure that if nobody has commented in a week or something, then we can take action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it worked until now naturally. Okay. I think we can keep this mode, and then if we have an issue at some point, then we can talk about this.
Yes.
And yeah, use just this meeting to triage things.
And for me, it's really also prioritizing based on the importance. I for this specifically about no proxy thing, I would need someone to explain me why it's important to do that. And I'm also asking the question here: why is that important? Possibly in these no proxy settings getting ignored by Health Monitor.
Why that's important? It's important because Health Monitor doesn't work if it's set or something. If your proxy is configured in a certain way, it can't reach localhost, and then it will cannot reach the BOSH director because the Health Monitor tries to connect to the BOSH director over the proxy, and it doesn't make sense because it's like co-located.
Yeah,
I don't even know why would you have the Health Monitor use a proxy at all.
I think Health Monitor sends to outside. Health Monitor can send data to data.
Yes, it's the
Datadog or Grafana.
It's all the plugins.
Correct, yeah. They need to be able to communicate to outside, yeah.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you for those insights.
So we have, what are the outcomes with an issue? We have open for contribution. We have closed.
So we do not assign anyone to issues. We just, everyone can react on them and try to deal with issues in the meeting if any are still not somehow without reaction.
So, but we have things, they end up in the inbox. We don't want them to be longer in there than like 7 days, or wait, so what we have a state after inbox, right? After an inbox, so inbox is like waiting for the initial comment. Then we have, it can be in a discussion state or something, or like an
clarification state.
Yeah, like waiting for information, or
yeah. We say auto action in Jira, but it's not auto.
What do we have here? We have the wait, pending merge, waiting for changes, waiting for information.
Maybe in discussion, in clarification, or in discussions.
Discussion. Yeah. And then something should not be longer in discussion than, say, 14 days, maybe. Then we want it prioritized after, so I would say after 30 days or 14 days, or how long do we want something to be prioritized? I mean, like, we are not going to close it, but after, if it's prioritized, we should start bugging the, if it's prioritized, there should be someone assigned, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about how we will handle our backlog, but yeah.
But I mean, like, I mean, in practice, like, if it's assigned, that means that someone is gonna pick it up, as in, like,
yeah, someone thinks this is important, needs to be fixed, and
yeah. So some company has decided, so we can say, like, we assign it to you, Beyhan, if it's an SAP thing, and we assign it to me, if, like, at least that person can be contacted and knows and can check in the other backlog of the company specific backlog where that issue is, right?
Yeah.
I think we should have a point of contact.
Yeah.
Do we want that? I mean, like, something like that, right? We, for the community, it's nice to see, like, I would expect after 14 days maybe to have an update on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start with this and then see. Yeah, but sounds good.
Open for contribution, maybe 30 days. And then we would close, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if there is no reaction after.
After 14 days, we close. Right, if something is open for 7 days without response, we should start pinging the tech leads.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it seems sound.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. So this is mostly probably a bot. So I will put this into the proposal we have for the bot as well. At the foundation or at the TOC level. But we can start with this ourselves. But I think it would also be nice to have like an overview, right, of these things in these states, so add a list to the project thing so that we can track the issues there. So we don't have to wait for the bot to take action. We have a natural entry point into this information. That project, by the way, is still private, but I will open it up once I have added the issues. So I'm still experimenting there. But the idea is to have this board replace this one.
Yeah.
The nice thing here is also that once there's workflow. So if you change the state, it automatically. So if you, for example, if an item is closed, it moves to a column. There's changes requested, and it changes, moves to waiting for changes, those types of things. So you don't have to move these things, like certain actions, taking certain actions in GitHub moves things to a different column. That's quite nice. Okay, next item. What was the next item? Oh no, that one we discussed. As it's okay.
You say this private, but I can access the views of project 21.
Oh, you can?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Typing the whole URL. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Who
right.
has access? Private project. Only those with access can view this project.
But maybe it's private for the org, or
Now no. If I'm not logged in, I cannot view it.
yeah, I'm logged in. Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm here at the admin. I mean, there's nothing private in there, so I don't care. But that seems like a bit of an oversight. On the
I
GitHub
think
side.
it's accessible for members of the Foundry org, possibly.
But still, everyone. Oh wait, everyone in the organization can see and edit this project. Ah, oh wait, so that's the base role.
Base role.
So if I do no access.
Oh, I think I won't access it anymore. Yeah, I don't see it anymore.
Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's solved. Thanks for bringing that up. But read access, I think, should be the, and I will give the rest of you access once everything is set up. Yeah, the other thing, I thought maybe it's time to change the default branch of the bosh-linux-stemcell-builder to Bionic master.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because the master branch is out of sync, nobody is using it, and it's confusing for people that make PRs. We have had a few PRs the last few days that were against the master branch, which didn't make sense. And I mean, like, I think even a few PRs wouldn't have been there because people would just start building Bionic and everything would work instead of having to try to build master. Also, I find it interesting that the person submitting a few of those PRs was actually from Canonical. So,
yeah, interesting. All right.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, definitely we should do that. It's confusing and doesn't make sense, the current state. So yeah,
we should do that, as in we do that now. Manage branches. Is that default branch here? Yes.
Switch. This is renaming the master. It's confusing.
Oh, that's not. No,
this is the other button with two arrows.
And that's why we do it now.
Next to the pen.
Yes.
Switch.
Bionic.
So it's Bionic master. Ubuntu Bionic master. So it's very dangerous. Take care.
That's why we do it with 4 people.
Ooh, you did it.
Okay, I have to go to another meeting, unfortunately, today.
Yeah, I think that was the end of the call anyway, right? Or at least of the agenda. So,
yeah.